we're back. Our second game of Supernova about to be, well, it's already underway. I was going to say about to be cast, but that's kind of stating the obvious, I think. But something you should know, if you're listening instead of playing, is there are a number of slots still open on the right side of the room if you're looking down from the mezzanine. So if you haven't had a chance to play the game yet, you've got more than ample opportunity right now. And who knows, maybe if this is a stomp, I'll get a chance to cast you and flame you as well. So our first match of the day, my friend, was a bit of a one-sided affair, and does look like we do have some AI involved in this one. Is this a pure AI game?
It looks like there are AI involved here. It's possible that there was enough players to start this match, but
maybe that's a naming error. I'm not seeing anything but AI.
Oh, that's yes.
Well, hopefully, I'm going to guess that's probably just some kind of a issue with the names or whatever. We are continuing to be in alpha, of course, but we can still talk about the game, what we see, what we think, and so on and so forth. But again, for our human friends, and there's a very nice shot. We're going to see Blaze caught from behind, Reptus trying to clean him up, and now a little bit of help back to try to help, or a little bit of movement to try to help out. But yeah, once again, if you haven't had a chance to play, we got plenty of computers down here that are looking for folks. And
I think we're going to be transitioning, actually. I think maybe on spectator mode we clicked on the wrong match here, so I think we're going to be transitioning to a real match here, which is probably going to be more fun to shoutcast than bots. But bots are cool people too. I mean, they have lives, normal lives.
Dude, did you ever watch Star Trek: The Next Generation? Did you ever hear Picard's rant and speech on why AI deserve rights within the Federation? I mean, come on.
Right.
If you're up on your nerd lore, you know that bots are not necessarily people, but they deserve rights.
They do deserve rights.
So hopefully we're just minutes away from jumping into another game. We'll give it a brief little breather period here, and we'll vamp and vet and so on. But if we don't have anything after that, we'll probably take another small break while we make sure that we have another match completely set up. And no, looks like we're not going to have to do that. And yes, they have names, and I see some of them are familiar names at that. One Scarf going to be back. Carnage is going to be back into the game, looking for some revenge against Arthur in particular, I know, of course, known as Aegis. And talk about the hero compositions you see right now.
Looks like it's an interesting match here. We got Scram on both sides. Let's be interesting to see what the Scarves do. Those are BNGA players, so they're familiar with the characters. So let's see how they load him up. Can make him pretty beefy, and he's usually pretty hard to take down. So let's see what they do.
We can already see Red's got a big advantage about to add to it. Venture Beat going to be dropped by Arthur. And he's going to pull back. He's there along with Scott and Steven. And using some of those cool skins. Reptus, as we can see, in a bit of a 300 flavored kind of a skin at the moment.
Yes. There's some very cool skins. You could see the one that looks a little Stargate-like almost. And you can see Reptus in the sort of 300 Roman attire.
Oh, they're going to get him? Oh, one more shot would have brought him down. So close. And that was actually really well executed from Scott, as he was using, as you so lovingly called them, the space bushes, and got a couple of pot shots in without being noticed. Down at bottom, the push is still on, as Red leading 7-0. So an absolute slap fest, at least for the moment. And it looks like they've managed to make this early rotation style work. For the last time we watched this group of players that were playing together in our first match, we saw them do this as well. They rotated and began to pressure lanes in groups of 3 and 4 very early, and it seemed to work to their advantage. So at top, we can see two Scarves just trying to hold on to things. Do you think that that's really one of the optimum ways to play early on, or is it risky to decide to start rotating early on?
I think it can be risky. I think it depends on the composition of the team, the experience of the team, but looks like we have a combo down here that one Scarf is definitely BNGA player, Venture Beat playing down here, so will be interesting to watch what goes on this lane.
Well, they're going to continue to push. If you're up against that kind of an approach, and hang on, we've got two Scarves caught from behind, well shot from Mechaut. And not enough to follow up. He's actually going to be right-click down. Mitchie, got him.
Oh.
Got him.
Playing with fire, you're going to get burned.
Scrime is once again being played by Hayden. We're going to see Arthur taking a few shots from the tower, so overextending himself. But back to what I was saying, since we're seeing this kind of mass push approach, and wow, Arthur just, we're just going to, thought it was going to be feed. I was going to flame him hard for it. In the meantime, Mitchie D tallying yet another kill for himself. But when you're up against this high aggressive style, really trying to push towers early, is there a certain army composition that you feel like is better suited to dealing with that?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're focused on that too much right now. I think the default or auto army's on, but I would probably go a little heavy on the tanks. Looks like they're very soldier focused right now, which means probably that it is on auto.
And nothing wrong with that. But again, something that as players get more experienced, and again, the open alpha will be on the way coming up this Thursday for the benefit of everyone listening who wants to get a bit more time with this game in their hands. I'm sure that that can be arranged. And that's something that, you know, the time I've spent with the game, I only really got to scratch the surface in terms of how deep those custom army mechanics were. But there really is so much potential for strategizing, for pre-planning, and for lack of a better word, build orders, saying, hey, we're going to build this way for the first 10 minutes, and at this point, we're really going to focus our gold in upgrading to this, that, and the other. And I really love the strategic depth that something like that really contributes to a game of this caliber.
Yeah, very true. I mean, I think that's why, you know, chat, some of the features that we have in the game we know are critical to the success of the game. Chat, even in here, even in the lobby when you're selecting characters and commanders, strategizing there is as important as on the battlefield.
Another three-man push at top. We're going to see Mitchie D, and that Towers is down, and two Scarves left out to dry as he's taking quite a bit of damage from Hayden and Mitchie D. And
there we go.
That's 3 in about the last 3 minutes for our buddy Mitch as he is piling on the kills. Let's see, where is he? Yeah, he's sitting at 6-0-0 for the moment, so certainly looking sharp here in game 2. 10 minutes in, not even 10 minutes, 8 minutes in, 10 kills on the board. And I don't think they're going to back off of this. I think they're going to try to repeat the success they had in their very first game. And now we can already see our cameraman drawing attention to these very particular central parts of the jungle, which is, of course, the mechauts. And would you say this is already reaching a situation where you have to begin to consider this if you're the green team, just trying to get to that level 9, level 10 crucial area where you're beefy enough to go at it and then just try to get a pick and try to turn the game with a mechaut push?
I think it's a little premature, but it's definitely something they need to consider for sure based on damage that they're taking on right now.
So say you were in this hole, say you're in the captain share for green. Is it just play tower defense time, or do you try to maybe out-aggressive the aggressors in red?
I think really they actually need to look at their army strategy a little bit closer and what they're doing there. I know that's hard to communicate at this point in the game, but maybe they need to reconsider the shape of the armies that they're sending down the lanes, and probably, you know, gang up a little bit more and swerve in and out of these lanes a little bit more in unison.
Well, for now, it seems to have calmed down a little bit. Everyone, and this is the kind of thing I would expect to see. I saw kind of a group back from red that time. They had so much momentum, their kill score's high, they're pushing towers, then they all kind of pulled back at once. And that's something I'm already beginning to see here more in game 2 than game 1. Game 1, everyone seemed to just continue to run around. I believe these players have figured out just how important attributes and masteries are. They have to go back to the base platform, and it's really, I think, an important mechanic in how the pace of this game feels. You can't just pour it on. You kind of have to be very strategic, not just in your advances, but your retreats as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, something you want to, you know, either do in unison with some teammates or maybe take turns to come in and out. But it's an important strategy of the game as we see them trying to take on some of the creep bosses there.
Another big push beginning to show itself at bottom. There's a 2-on-1 at top lane. We'll see if Carnage can maybe get in range, get a little bit of damage on Scrime though, just so beefy in the back. And really a tough commander to pull. Look at the damage and Carnage. Yeah, that's a big dude swinging a big hammer, man. You can't feed him. He's already hungry enough. Yeah,
the Scrime's great. He's one of my favorite characters. Usually you can really load up on armor and toughness and play a great game with him.
One Scarf. Oh, they end up losing one is Steven Hansen.
I think he's gone.
Yep. Connor from behind just needed a little bit of range. It's still 1-for-1. Could be much worse in the meantime. It's Scott that ends up tallying that kill. So 12-2. Red continues to lead heavily. This bottom tower exposed and undefended. Probably not long for the world. 2 Scars ate a lot of damage from the tower. And looks like Hayden not much in the mood to over pursue. Tough to do that whenever you can be kited so easily.
Yeah, he's playing Slith, so.
And beginning to see players put a bit more emphasis on the jungle too. And You know, it's such kind of a thing you just have to learn. Up, hang on. Speaking of jungle, looks like Arthur wants to use it to his advantage, using using those stealth abilities to close the gap and get the damage done mighty quick. And we can already see this map is just beginning to fill. Oh wow, Arthur actually finding himself yet another kill, tallying a double kill when all said and done. And at bottom, his teammates doing work as well. This tier 1, not long for the world, very low. And it looks like, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and all-in push this with 3 at least. And this is going to be a very careful play for green here. They can't afford to lose a whole lot more ground.
You can see a little jungling up top there, so I think they are starting to explore a little bit more in there.
Yeah, Aegis has been spending some time in there trying to figure out what camps he's equipped to clear, but it strikes me that this is probably the most efficient way to clear the jungle, is not just by yourself, but to do your best to really work with each other, because the experience is split evenly. So Lightside coming out into a world of hurt, engaged 3 in 1, and that's a result you could expect as Scott is the one to tally that kill. That ups it to 15-2. As Red is just absolutely demolishing this poor green side.
Just want to make a quick announcement. We actually do have availability again on the right side. If anyone wants to get some hands-on with Supernova, now would be the time. We've got the floor clear, so if you want to make your way down, you can jump into a match and experience Supernova firsthand.
No reason not to, folks, believe me. It's a very unique experience, even for veterans of the genre. It's something that once you get your hands on, you just keep wanting to come back to. It's just a fascinating mix of all these game mechanics. And looks like every one of those is going to be used and abused by Red as they have a massive push ready to go. And this is a make or break fight for green at this moment. A lot of damage is being done, some tower damage being eaten up by that red side. We can see Aegis hiding down in the space bush, waiting for an opportunity to pounce. And that's a bit far out. Yeah, he's going to go right for it. They jump around and look at the damage output. Pure burst. Light side brought back with the hook. Well shot. And now one scarf scurrying away, trying to find a way back home. But I think our boys, that's a lot of damage being done. Doesn't matter. He's going home in a body bag, going home the hard way. As Hayden and Scott both add to their kill totals. We got 5-0, 2-0, 0-2 for poor Steven. 4-0 and 8-0. Down the line for this red team. Tier 2 is down. Tier 3 shaken in its foundations.
This is a turning point here.
Well, this is the kind of hole you find yourself in. Yeah, I'd hang out in top lane or mid lane too. You don't want any of this.
Cue that All By Myself song right there.
All by me. We're allowed to sing.
Oh, there you go. There's Slith. Oh, are we? I didn't know that.
it's open bars, so nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares. 2 scarves. LOL.
Oh, there you go.
Up, right click. Mitchy D. Nah, doesn't matter.
Yep. Back to the base you go.
Oh, Mitch. Oh, Mitch. Looks like this could be another relatively short affair.
Yeah. Cameraman's pointing out some key things here. Hint, hint.
And now
might be too late.
Yeah, I think so too. Red, I don't know. I mean, Stevens, yeah, no man's land. That's 3-on-1, homie. You're over leveled, but still tough to stand up to 3. Looks like Lightside wanted to try to chase him down with Scryme, but not going to be the case. But yeah, and this is the kind of thing where, in a situation like this, we were talking about the Mechauts being a comeback mechanic. I would say it works pretty well as a seal the deal mechanic when you've got this kind of a lead, right?
It can too, yeah. It can work that way as well. It's really more of a strategy usually when you're in need of an extra oomph, but you can definitely seal it and close this out if they went and did that right now.
Their levels should be pretty close. See some level 8s and 9s floating around. Still way under leveled to even consider that a possibility if you're on the green side. 2 scarves is level 7, so at least he's staying on par. But now they're just trying to push this army back, and they're being surrounded. This could get ugly quick. Steven Hansen coming right on in. Venture beat level 5 against a level 8. Not a battle he's going to win.
Yeah. Gutsy. Lightside, though, he's probably got Scryme beefed up pretty well there, so it'll be interesting to see a total battle.
Look at that. Couple of right clicks, and Scott drops him with extreme prejudice. Now they're going to turn right onto 1 scarf, and Scott able to back with a little bit of help. Steven Hansen's right there. Venture beat trying to find an angle to attack. Don't know that 1 scarf's going to be able to make it back safely. And yep, Scott tracks himself down, yet another kill. And this bottom lane becoming a bloodbath, my friend. Well, looks like we could be in for a game-ending push.
Yeah, 23-2. Hard to say there's going to be a comeback here.
A little lopsided. not super close, but
It looked pretty.
yeah, and it does look pretty whenever you see these players. And this is what's really fun for me as a commentator. You know, a lot of these guys playing are my friends, and they're certainly competent gamers. The difference between game 1 and game 2, their mastery and their understanding of the game and how quickly they're able to pile on the damage and pile up the kills, just goes to show you that even though this game has a lot to keep track of and a whole lot to learn and certainly a lot of strategic depth, the basic mechanics don't take long for any kind of a gamer, you know, that's experienced, that core game demographic that our great developers were talking about really wanting to target. Those are the people who are going to be able to pick it up immediately and want to spend much time trying to master it.
Absolutely. I think there's 2 tiers. I think there's people that can pick it up immediately, and then there's others that will refine, you know, the game to their liking with, you know, in particular armies and different commanders and skills and abilities. So the level of complexity, you know, as you gain experience, is going to increase, but you'll be rewarded if you know what you're doing.
Oh, blown from about 80% to 0 as 2 Scarves got caught with the big bomb of pain falling from the sky. They're continuing to prioritize this bottom lane quite a bit. And some damage has been done. We're going to see Hayden come in. He's looking to be the gap closer, and light side, not where you want to be, homie.
Oh,
Mitchie D adds another kill to his total.
Here we go, 1 Scarf. The long walk home.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, well shot. Let's see if they can follow it up.
All right, he's got a cooldown on that. Oh, there you go. Okay.
So you're beginning to see, especially now, and granted it's lopsided quite a bit, but the way these these commanders naturally synergize with one another. You know, there are heroes that are really good in pursuit, and that's a feed.
There you go.
That's a feed. There are heroes, and that, by the way, I think that actually draws attention to something worth mentioning. These armies are pretty strong, man. These are it doesn't matter if it's 18, 20 minutes into the game. You can't just run into a well-upgraded, well-assembled, and with a good composition army as a commander and just roll over them and flash farm. It doesn't work that way at all.
It takes time. You know, again, it depends on the composition, and that's, you know, strategic move on the other team's part, but definitely adds a fun element to the game.
Looks like red.
Little peacemaker there.
Yep, at the beachhead. Kaboom!
Ooh, another one.
As Scott claims another skull for his belt. And looks like Arthur finding a kill elsewhere on the map, but
3 amigos are gonna roll.
Yeah, this is maybe reaching its.
All right, taking down the sensor shields here.
So talk to me about those sensor shields. What's the general mechanic with those?
It's actually newly added, a mechanic we put in a little bit later, but it's actually, you know, been an improvement that we've really enjoyed. So it's just right in front of the auger, so it's another element that you have to take down as a team, so it provides the other team a little bit more time to maybe regain composure and make a push back.
There you go. Speaking of push back, Green finds a kill, and they're going to be able to run him out of the base for a minute.
Yeah, and I think that's why, you know, with the shields there, that added that extra time needed. Otherwise, they would have been hitting the auger immediately.
So with the shields, if those die, do they regenerate?
No, I believe you once you hit them down, you're open to hit the auger after that.
Okay, and that's permanent, right?
Yeah.
Does that have any influence on army spawning or anything at all?
No.
Okay, just making sure I'm clear. That's a lot of right click. As Scott just unloads a can of whoop ass. And this is probably going to be our final push.
Yeah.
Arthur a little bit too far ahead. He does end up giving a feed, but the pure punching power that we're seeing on the red side as Hayden is pursuing him all the way back behind the auger.
A little peekaboo there, but...
Yep. So
here we go.
The dive phase, I believe, is pretty much underway. We're seeing the power of Scrime there. He is very beefy, very tanky.
Yes.
But that auger eating...
2 more shields, but they're in that left side, so it's open over there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that so? Like, can you do like if all the shields are down? Can you only damage it from one side? Like if the bottom shield is down?
It's lane specific. So if the left side's open, you can attack directly. So it's really another strategy. You can just hit one and I'll move to that side, or you can knock them all down and attack.
And does it take amplified damage the more shields that are down?
No, it's just the same. It just releases the shield from the auger.
Good to know. Good to know. And looks like red not really willing. Nope, we're actually going to see Hayden head on back to the Hoos. And yeah, we're going to see he and Mitch both withdraw, so a little strategery. And this is what we were talking about earlier, the importance of not just knowing when to push, but if you gain a lot of experience and you're way ahead, it doesn't really matter that much if you haven't taken the time to go back home and upgrade.
Right.
And they're going to do that. That leaves Steven Hansen by himself. And he's far enough ahead, he may be able to.
Yeah, I think he's going to outrun this, but he's not going to be able to do much after that.
Hayden's back quick, though, and he is going to work. That's a big attack speed upgrade he's taken recently. And eating a bit of right click from Carnage, though. Carnage is just going to eat it right in the face, but one Scarf unloading with the hook from Lightside. So
Scrime v Scrime.
It's a long way to go, but you got to start somewhere. 5-33 after that. Steven Hansen re-engaging now. The Army's right there to push as well. He's going to end up dropping. And Scott found himself a kill elsewhere, but Green showing some signs of life, man. They got a pulse.
Give him some credit. Still got some heart.
Yep. Well, the levels are now sufficiently high on both sides, by the way, that they should be able to start taking a look at the mechaut. So with one hero at least down for the moment on red, is this a good time, you think, for Green to maybe make a run?
Yeah, I would, you know, you can take the hotkey, the H, and drop it right there in the help, and everybody should be able to run through there and actually attack the mechaut. Now would be the right time, actually. These guys are coming back down that lane, so I'd probably do it now or never, but looks like they're just taking on the armies.
Yeah, it looks like Red's taking a bit more of a methodical approach, and this is certainly a great opportunity for them to take a shot at the mechaut. And once again, they have to clear both, right? There's one in the north and the south side of the jungle.
Correct. Yeah, there's two. You can see it on the mini map. It's marked there.
Yep, the bigger gold medallions, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they're running out of time, unfortunately. It was an option for a brief moment, but looks like now Red's back banging at the gates. The Vandals are sacking Rome.
There we go. There we go.
Arthur?
Calling for help.
Yep. Says, yeah, they're here. Looks like they're just going to try to play this out as methodically as they can. The Army is relatively beefed up on the side of Green, given how far behind they are, so it is going to take some time. Steven Hansen, once again, overstepping his bounds, makes it away with about 1% of his HP. So even though they're this fed in many ways and this far ahead, not exactly a situation where you can be running in 1 versus 3 and expect a good result.
No. Here we go.
We're going to see Hayden doing some work here in the jungle.
Creep boss down.
And now, Steven back at the base, healing up. They have cleaned up that tier 3 top, though. And beginning to feel rather inevitable. And you can't help but think Green missed a major opportunity. They had a map open to them and a mechanic built into the game to try to help even situations like this out if you're clever.
Right, and again, I think that just comes with understanding the game long term. You know, you'll understand the skill, and everyone has teamwork will go towards that, knowing when it's time. It's something you probably don't even have to communicate. You'll just know that, okay, it's time to go do this.
Yep, just ping it on the map.
Yep.
That kind of deal. 1 shield down, 2 standing. And Green down to their last gasps. But, yeah, 2 Scarves continuing to farm out mid. Well, hell, I mean, let's give them credit. They're banging at the door of the tier 3, and we've got Steven Hansen and Aegis down there. Yeah. But I don't know that they could do this on their own. These are, I mean, Carnage is level 10, 1 Scarf's level 12. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, both the range guys. So Vika there, she's pretty deadly from afar.
Oh, yeah.
Martanica's not going to be able to stay in there. There we go.
There we are.
There we go. Someone smart.
Yep, they're going to go for it. Now, let's see. Well, this is 2 level 13s.
Yeah, so now they're going to actually have to take it down because the other team actually unlocked it. So in order to retake that, you're going to have to kill it and then respawn it.
Okay, so okay. So like once they kill it, they have to respawn it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other team owns it. You got to kill it, respawn it, and then it's yours. That's why you see them hitting it.
Doesn't look like they're having too much trouble here.
Not this level. Level 13 should be.
But this is actually really risky. They've got 2 in the jungle. Their base is in a shambles. They've lost a tier 3. So
this is true.
This is not coming without its own risks, and we can see.
There we go. They're almost there. So they should be able to now stand in there and respawn it as theirs. So not sure if they've unlocked the other one, but still work to do.
Yeah, looks like they're hanging. About how long does it take?
Should take a while to refresh, but they should be able to reset it there very soon.
Well, AG's in the meantime running a bit of interference. Up here it comes.
There we go. All right. See how this plays out.
4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that was actually, I thought that was a countdown for that. My bad.
Nah, he's evacuated.
And, yeah, looks like he's still hanging around.
Yeah.
So it should respawn the boss itself now, right?
Yeah, I think they need to go unlock the other one.
Well, for now, they're still doing a decent job of pushing Mitchie D, though, just doing so much damage.
One Scarf on the run.
AG's going to try to pursue him down. I mean, Green is caught up in levels pretty damn well.
It's interesting, right? This looked like it was a slaughter, but now it's turning a little bit tougher of a grind for him.
Well, I think it's kind of the give and the take of the army mechanics.
Right.
You upgrade your army, you spend so much, you put so much into them. If you end up pushing in over and over again and they are able to hold their ground, they're getting so much experience from your over-leveled army that they catch up relatively quickly, correct?
Yes, yes. And again, that's the fun part about it. You know, some people are really focused on their commander and leveling up in certain, you know, whether it's weapon damage, attack speed. And here we see the mechaut coming down the
there
line.
he is.
So finally we get to see the beast off its leash.
Yeah, let's try to keep the camera with this mechaut. This is the one thing we haven't seen a lot of. Seen a lot of kills, but just want to, jeez.